Erich Fromm, one of the boldest psychoanalysts of the 20th century, believed aggression wasn't just one thing. He divided it into two main types, benign aggression and malignant aggression, and the difference between them reveals something chilling about human nature. When most people think of aggression, they imagine something simple, a fight, an argument, or defending yourself when attacked. Most aggression we see in the world makes sense. Animals fight to survive. People lash out when threatened. But Erich Fromm discovered something far more disturbing, a kind of aggression that has nothing to do with survival at all. It's cruelty for the sake of cruelty, and it exists only in humans. Benign aggression, Fromm argued, is defensive. Imagine a cornered animal that lashes out when threatened, or a person who fights back when attacked. This aggression has a clear purpose: survival. It ends when the danger passes. It's part of life's natural design, just like pain warns us of injury. Benign aggression is limited, reactive, and ultimately life-serving. But then comes the other kind, the one that fascinated and terrified Fromm: malignant aggression. This isn't about defense. It isn't about survival. It's a darker, deeply human drive, the urge to cause pain, destroy, or dominate for no reason other than the act itself. Unlike the defensive kind, malignant aggression is unlimited. It doesn't stop when the threat ends, because there never was a threat. It feeds on destruction, as if destruction itself is a source of pleasure. Fromm believed this type of aggression had no real counterpart in the animal kingdom. Animals may fight viciously, but rarely without survival as the motive. Malignant aggression, however, belongs uniquely to humans. It emerges not out of necessity, but out of psychology, out of something missing inside. That's what makes it so terrifying. Why do humans have this capacity? Fromm traced it back to our awareness of life and death. Unlike animals, we know we will die. We wrestle with freedom, meaning, and isolation. This awareness can give birth to creativity, love, and growth, but it can also twist into cruelty. When a person feels powerless, meaningless, or estranged, they may turn to destruction as a way to feel alive. Destroying something or someone becomes proof of control. Malignant aggression isn't a sudden outburst. It's often cold, calculated, and deliberate. Think of torture, cruelty, or the enjoyment of watching others suffer. These are not reactions to danger. They are acts of dominance, where the aggressor seeks not just to defend, but to annihilate, to turn living beings into objects. Fromm described this as part of the necrophilous orientation, a psychological attraction to death, rigidity, and lifelessness. To understand it better, Fromm studied not only individual psychology, but also history. He pointed to dictators, tyrants, and systems of oppression where cruelty became institutionalized. The Holocaust, for instance, was not the result of millions defending themselves. It was malignant aggression turned into an industrial process. Here, destruction was organized, efficient, and terrifyingly purposeful. But Fromm also warned us not to think only of extreme cases. Malignant aggression can exist in everyday life. It shows up in bullying, in people who manipulate and humiliate others just for the thrill. It hides in relationships where control replaces love, and in leaders who stir up hate simply to maintain power. In each case, the goal isn't defense. It's the intoxication of power through harm. Fromm was careful to say this aggression wasn't instinctive in the same way hunger or sex is. It's not inevitable. Instead, it grows out of social and psychological conditions. Societies that isolate individuals, crush creativity, and glorify domination tend to breed malignant aggression. On the other hand, cultures that nurture life, love, and meaningful work tend to suppress it. This is what makes malignant aggression so haunting. It isn't just inside a few evil people. It's a potential inside all of us, waiting for the right conditions to unlock it. Fromm wanted us to recognize that our choices, our societies, and our values either feed life or feed destruction. In the first part, we explored how Erich Fromm made a crucial distinction: benign aggression, which protects life, versus malignant aggression, which exists purely to dominate and destroy. Now let's dig deeper into what malignant aggression looks like in practice and why Fromm thought it was humanity's most dangerous psychological weapon. Fromm described malignant aggression as unlimited, insatiable, and cold. It doesn't burn out when the threat is gone, because there never was a threat. It isn't defensive, it's offensive. It doesn't seek balance, it seeks annihilation. And unlike natural aggression in animals, malignant aggression doesn't fade with satisfaction. In fact, it tends to grow. To understand this better, Fromm analyzed history. He pointed to leaders and regimes where cruelty wasn't a side effect, it was the core principle. Consider the torture chambers of the Middle Ages, or the Nazi death camps, or authoritarian governments that maintained control by terror. Here, aggression wasn't about defending a people from danger, it was about cultivating destruction as an art form. Victims weren't just killed, they were dehumanized, humiliated, and broken. The aggressor's goal was not only power, but the joy of proving life could be crushed. Fromm believed malignant aggression often pairs with what he called the necrophilous orientation, a psychological attraction to death, rigidity, and lifelessness. People with this orientation prefer things over people, rules over relationships, power over love. For them, the act of destroying becomes a way of confirming their dominance over fragile, living beings. A soldier who executes without hesitation, a torturer who experiments with cruelty, or even a tyrant who deliberately starves his population, these are extreme but chilling examples of malignant aggression at work. But Fromm also wanted us to look beyond dictators and killers. He warned that malignant aggression can grow quietly in the shadows of ordinary life. Think of the person who bullies not because they're insecure, but because they relish watching others crumble. Think of someone in a relationship who doesn't just control a partner, but slowly destroys their spirit with manipulation and humiliation. Or the employer who builds authority not through respect, but through calculated cruelty. These aren't defensive acts, they're deliberate, designed to strip away vitality until nothing remains. What makes this especially terrifying, Fromm argued, is that malignant aggression often hides under rationalizations. It disguises itself as duty, tradition, or necessity. A soldier says he's just following orders. A government says it's protecting stability. A person in a toxic relationship says they're just teaching a lesson. Behind these masks, the aggression spreads unchecked. The true motive, pleasure in destruction, remains invisible, even to the aggressor at times. Fromm also believed that malignant aggression wasn't simply an individual flaw. It was a symptom of unhealthy societies. When people feel alienated, powerless, or stripped of meaning, some will turn inward and collapse, while others will turn outward with destruction. Entire cultures can normalize cruelty when they idolize dominance, wealth, or rigid authority over human dignity. For example, Fromm argued that modern economic systems sometimes nurture aggression by treating humans as expendable. When workers are seen as numbers instead of people, when profit outweighs compassion, malignant aggression doesn't appear as bloodshed. It appears as neglect, exploitation, and the quiet destruction of human potential. At its core, malignant aggression is fueled by a war against life itself. The person who embraces it does not want to coexist, grow, or share. They want to turn living things into objects, to control and crush what cannot be controlled, like love, freedom, and creativity. And here's the paradox Fromm wanted us to see. Malignant aggression is not strength. It is weakness disguised as power. The truly strong create, nurture, and build. The destructively aggressive destroy because they cannot face the vulnerability of life. To them, killing or humiliating is easier than connecting. This is why Fromm considered malignant aggression humanity's greatest danger. It is not instinct, not necessity, not survival. It is choice. A choice that can be cultivated by societies, justified by ideologies, or hidden in everyday relationships. But always, its essence is the same: destruction for destruction's sake. In the next part, we'll dive into how Fromm thought we could resist malignant aggression by cultivating what he called the biophilous orientation, a love of life that turns us away from destruction and toward growth, connection, and creation. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.